Welcome back to Rails Minute. Rails Minute is our effort to bring you short videos about what is happening with the library system. Hello, I'm Dan Bostrom, Rails Member Engagement Manager, and I'm here with Monica Harris, Rails Executive Director. Hello, Monica.
Hello, Dan.
So earlier this month, you had the opportunity to participate in a virtual banned books event with Illinois Secretary Alexi Giannoulias and State Librarian. Can you tell us a little bit about that event and how it went?
Yeah, it was a great event, and I felt really fortunate to be invited. It was organized originally by the Vernon Area Public Library, but eventually more than 75 libraries signed on as co-sponsors for the program, which was really focused on issues of today around book banning, and really explaining it to an audience that may not have gone to library school or work in a library, really understanding a lot of issues. And so I was on the panel along with Secretary Giannoulias, and then also two Illinois authors, Jasmine Warga and Jarrett Dapier. And it was moderated by Tribune columnist Heidi Stevens. So more than 700 people attended the event. The questions were flying. People really had a lot of interest in just figuring out how they could help and support libraries, but also really wanted to know some of the details of how books are selected for a library and really understand how a collection development policy works. So it was really a great opportunity to sort of get outside of our normal kind of library bubble and be able to explain something that people are really interested in. And it was also just very heartening to see how many people love their libraries and wanted to support and help them.
Yeah. And speaking of banned books, there was a hearing about Public Act 103/0100. What should members know about this?
The Public Act is actually the law version of House Bill 2789, which was all about banning book bans. So what we are asking for now is for libraries to look at the bill as it exists in terms of the administrative rules that are available. You can read through all of the language, and the comment period is now open. So libraries can comment with anything that they'd like to say about how this law will be implemented, but you must do it by October 25th, which will get here very quickly. Those comments also have to go to the public access counselor, and so if you look in the newest Rails e-news, you'll see exactly where to send those comments, and we want to encourage all of our members to do so.
Yeah, please do that. Another unfortunate issue that our library workers are dealing with is an increase in bomb threats. What can libraries do to protect themselves and cope with this unfortunate situation?
You know, this is a really terrible and heartbreaking situation. Our libraries have been through so much in the last few years, and it is so difficult to see them having to try to figure out how to do and deal with these really impossible situations. So we know of at least 17 Rails members that received bomb threats over the last month or so. And so we did a few things just to try to get a handle on how we can support our members as they're going through this really difficult and unprecedented moment. So we called together a lot of the library directors who we knew had been affected by these bomb threats for a meeting on September 15th. It was also attended by the Illinois Library Association, just to hear directly from those directors about what they experienced, what they went through, and some kind of things that helped them get through it, and let us know what those things were. We then had another meeting on October 5th with any library director in the Rails area that wanted to join. We were joined again by some of these directors who very generously offered to share their experience. And then we shared some of the takeaways and things that we learned in terms of how libraries could be supportive and how they could support each other. So the biggest thing that we're trying to remind our libraries is this is such a difficult time for your colleagues. If you know that this is something that your colleagues have been through, please reach out to them, see how they are, see what they're doing, see if there's anything that they need to be supported or to help one another. Libraries have also expressed this huge need to be able to offer services to support their staff. The staff are really concerned and worried in this moment, and so having access to an employee assistance program or some of these other opportunities are really, really important. Finally, we're really trying to make sure that we have additional networking programs so that people can continue to talk about these issues. We're encouraging people people to publish to the listservs if there are things that they want to be able to share about their experience so others can find out and know about it. And we also want to encourage people to continue to attend continuing education programs. So coming up on October 24th, there is a program that was recommended to us that's being put out by the FBI Boston. It's all about bomb threats, hoaxes, and what your organization can do to prepare. They're offering that program 3 times that day. And so we are encouraging members who have the ability to attend that day to go. We'll also continue to work with them to find some other dates because that date, unfortunately, is during the first day of ILA, and we know a lot of our members can't attend. But those who have attended previous versions of this program have found it very helpful.
Yeah. Some good news to share is we have some really exciting developments to report on the future of internet access in Illinois. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
You know, Illinois has been allocated over $1 billion in federal dollars to help support broadband. This is a really important issue, and as many of us know, libraries are really at the center of what is happening via broadband. So there are 2 main acts that we all need to be aware of. One of them is called the Broadband Equity and Development Program, otherwise known as BEAD, B-E-A-D. That program will lay fiber throughout the area and will allow households and community anchor institutions like libraries to get connected. The second is one called the Digital Equity Act, and that will support more digital inclusion efforts that are happening throughout the country, including helping residents to access affordable internet, also maybe get devices, training, lots of other things that libraries are really very good at supporting and helping with. There is a comment period on that first BEAD Act that's coming up October 30th. And again, we want to encourage all of our members to make sure that they're looking at that information and commenting on how their libraries can be supportive and help these initiatives. Also, a bonus step is if you are a library director and you have received the survey for the Public Internet Access Survey offered by the Illinois Secretary of State's office, we want to encourage you to enter all of that information because that's going to give us a much better picture of what internet speeds look like throughout Illinois. And then just stay tuned for more information on the Digital Equity Plan. We definitely expect this one to have a lot of relevance to libraries, and we expect to hear more about that in January. So stay tuned. Also, if you're going to be at ILA during the ILA President's Program, Rail's Director of Technology, Ann Slaughter, and Heartland's Troy Brown will be speaking about these initiatives. So there will be a lot more to share and more to come, but this is a really important piece that we want to make sure Illinois libraries know about.
Thank you for sharing that information, Monica. So before we conclude today's episode, I want to let you all know that you can subscribe to the Rails Minute as a podcast. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts and never miss an episode. And as always, you can submit a question or any topic for Monica or myself via the comments below, or you can send it to communications@railslibraries.org. Monica, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you so much for watching.